continue to closely monitor the litigation and the number of disciplinary cases filed. I think it's worth noting that the numbers that I just reported are near historic lows and are substantially lower than the number of cases that the board is used to seeing, at least within the last 5, 10, and even 15 years. We will, of course, continue to keep the public updated on any new cases that have been filed and any decisions reached by the board, both at our public meetings, but also on the police board's website under the news and police discipline section. And our website can be accessed by going to chicago.gov/police board. The next item on the agenda is appeals. When a person who applies to become a Chicago police officer is disqualified and removed from the eligibility list due to the results of a background investigation, that person has a right to appeal that decision to this board. The board, as authorized by the Open Meetings Act, has discussed in a closed meeting several appeals. We will now take final action on those appeals. Is there a motion to affirm the disqualification decision for the following appeals? 25AA34, 25AA35, 25AA36, and 25AA37, and reverse the disqualification decision for appeal number 25AA28.
Yes, so moved. Second.
I will now call on the members of the board for their votes. Vice President Padilla.
Aye.
Board Member Block.
Aye.
Board Member Hall.
Aye.
Board Member Liss.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Safakis.
Aye.
Board Member Terry.
Aye.
Board Member Velasquez.
I accept I dissent from 25AA28 and recuse myself from 25AA37.
Thank you. I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion passes. The written decision will be issued as of today's date, entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and promptly posted on the police board's website. At this time, I would now like to call on Chief Navalis to give the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everybody. First, my name is Angel Navalis, Chief here with the Chicago Police Department, and as always, it's an honor to be here on behalf of Superintendent Larry Snelling. I always let the folks know that all topics discussed today will be shared with the superintendent. I want to thank everybody here who took time out of their evening to share their concerns with us. On Saturday night, an on-duty sergeant assigned to the 5th District sustained a gunshot wound after being shot by an offender who also shot another victim. Thankfully, the sergeant's injuries are non-life-threatening, but this traumatic incident is a reminder of how inherently dangerous this profession is. We ask that everyone keep the sergeant in their thoughts as she recovers and gets back to work. This past weekend, our Chicago Police Department officers worked to protect all celebrating St. Patrick's Day at large events that included the Dyeing of the River Green, the Downtown Parade, the Northside Irish Parade, and the Southside Irish Parade. Each celebration concluded safely thanks to our officers who were stationed throughout each of the events to keep everyone safe. I also would like to thank the community members who celebrated responsibly and all community members who abide by the law. That helps us keep community safe. Thank you for doing your part. This month, we're continuing to prepare for our upcoming community training observation days. That's going to occur April 11th. There's 12 days to register, so if you're interested, please go to our website to sign up. It's titled Today in the Life of a Recruit. This will give you some insight what our recruits go through to become Chicago police officers. Participants can choose to attend the training day for a half day or a full day. We're trying to accommodate as many attendees as possible, and we know and want to be respectful of your time. Attendees will be able to undergo some of the same classroom and scenario-based training our recruits get while they are in the police academy. Topics that will be covered include use of force, Fourth Amendment, field sobriety. Participants also have the opportunity to participate in reality-based training and receive a tour of our academy and our ranges. Anyone interested in attending this community training observation day can sign up at chicagopolice.org/CTOD or CTOD. Lastly, as we approach warmer weather, we invite every community member here and on CAN TV to participate with the Chicago Police Department. This could be done at beat meetings, serving as a beat facilitator, discussing issues at community engagements, and participating in problem-solving efforts. If you're interested, contact your district community policing sergeant or just walk in and visit us at any of our community policing offices. We extend the invitation. We would love to have you. There's a lot of work to be done, and with the help of the community, I am sure we will get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Davalos. And I just want to say, I know I'm speaking on behalf of the entire board when I like to extend my condolences and wishing the sergeant who was shot over the weekend a speedy recovery. I now like to call on Chief Administrator White to give the COPA report.
President Cooper. Good evening to the members of the board, the department, and attendees. First, COPA will want to send their condolences to the Chicago Fire Department on the loss of fireman Ottman. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and the Chicago Fire Department. Yesterday marked two significant milestones for COPA and for me personally. The City Council expanded COPA's jurisdiction to include the Welcoming City Ordinance, which is the WCO, granting us the authority to investigate alleged violations of the WCO. On the same day, I was confirmed as the permanent chief of COPA. I am deeply grateful to Mayor Johnson, CCPSA, and members of the City Council for their trust and confidence in me. Over the last 27 years, serving the city that I love and grew up in has shaped me into the public servant that I am today. I began my career in police oversight about 25 years ago. At the time, I was young and inspired to learn that there was an agency dedicated to reviewing officers' actions to determine if they were lawful. That mission shaped me and motivated me into becoming an investigator. Throughout my career, I have spent countless hours investigating officer-involved shootings, excessive force cases, and other serious incidents. In that work, I have seen the tears of a mother who has lost her child in an officer-involved shooting. I have also seen the tears of an officer who had to make split-second decisions in order to save his own life. The work that COPA does is not easy, and it gets scrutinized all the time. But I will tell you that it is absolutely necessary. Accountability does not have to be adversarial. At its core, COPA's mission is to strengthen the Chicago Police Department by recommending improvements to their trainings and policies, correcting bad behavior and misconduct, and ensuring that those who undermine the integrity of the Chicago Police Department be held accountable. Members of the public, as well as police officers, rely on COPA to be transparent, but above all, to be an agency of integrity. As Chief Administrator, one of my key priorities is to build stronger relationships between the community and the police. This includes establishing a community advisory committee with a dedicated youth component to ensure young voices are meaningfully engaged. It also involves developing partnerships with CPS and city colleges to educate our youth about COPA and the broader system of police accountability. At the same time, we will continue to work with the Chicago Police Department to engage in constructive collaboration while maintaining our independence and commitment to oversight. Above all, my main objective is to be fair, to be honest, and to lead with integrity. I thank you.
Thank you, Chief Administrator White. But before we get to public comment, I just want to thank Chief Navalis and General Counsel Spears and everyone at CPD who has really worked hard in the last couple of months to figure out the best way to address some of the community's issues and concerns that are brought up during these public meetings of the Chicago Police Board. You know, oftentimes during public comment, we hear stories that are deeply personal about not only individuals' families, but also the communities that they live in. And to that end, I'm happy to report that as part of making sure that those stories and those concerns don't go unaddressed, that Chief Navalis and Mr. Spears have worked together to put basically a report as to the comments that are made during the meetings of the Chicago Police Board and to follow up on those comments to see that action has been taken. And I just want to highlight some of the progress that has been made since last month's meeting regarding public comments that were addressed. So for those of you who were here, there were a few members from the 6th District who came in to discuss some serious parking issues that were taking place outside of their residences that abutted a church. Chief Navalis personally spoke with the 6th District Commander, Mr. Poston, and ended up working with the police officers in that community to issue citations to individuals who were parked illegally to help the homeowners be able to get into their homes during those service hours where they had previously been unable to. There was also a few members of the public who came to speak about and get some clarity regarding the Chicago Police Department's interactions with federal law enforcement and their adherence to the city's welcoming ordinance. I'm also happy to report that since that conversation took place, there has been greater clarity surrounding the Chicago Police Department's role in enforcing that ordinance and in terms of their interactions with federal enforcement officers. So I just wanted to, again, commend Chief Navalis, Mr. Spears, and CPD members who both are here and not here for taking the public's concerns seriously, following up on them, and delivering real results to individuals who have taken time out of their busy lives and days to express their concerns. And I would just continue to encourage, not only those of you who are here, but those of you who are listening at home, to continue to make your voices and concerns heard, because we really are committed to addressing them in the best way that we can. So with that, I now like to open this meeting's public comment section up to the first speaker who has signed up to speak. And that person is someone we know well, Mr. Bobby Kennedy.
Was I in that little letter thing that they wrote?
Not yet, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, here, you can pass those down and you can pass those down.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. I stated on January 15th, I believe any citizen can sue their local government or school board for funding with taxpayer dollars over the use of forced symbology on the fact that it is progressive segregation. Should it be found unconstitutional, that would set a precedent. No more progressive forced symbology on or in public buildings, schools, crosswalks, or police cars. I have tried to find a constitutional lawyer to take on this case at my cost, but no lawyers want to fight City Hall. My next alternative is to push for Affinity Police Car for the Black and Hispanic community with the program created by Mayor Lori Lightfoot and the Chicago Inspector General. The gay community was labeled disenfranchised by the Lightfoot administration, which seems to have been the first step in the order to have a fleet of rainbow cars that represent the gay community. I am here before the Assistant Inspector General and the Chicago Police Board asking that Black and Hispanic community be labeled disenfranchised. And therefore a need to be represented with an Affinity police car themed representative of their community. Federal Judge Pohlmeyer, who oversees the consent decree, said in a December 10th, 2024 consent decree open community Zoom meeting, anyone could declare a group as disenfranchised. Being a legal, not illegal, citizen of Chicago, I would like to declare the Black and Hispanic communities as disenfranchised. Federal Judge Robert M. Dow, okay, I'm basing this off of the January 31st, 2019 consent decree, case number 17 CV 6260, written by Federal Judge Robert M. Dow, Jr., who wrote the consent decree to address constitutional violations of blacks and Hispanics. The verbiage is located in section 4. Please let me know if there is any more I should do to move this approval process forward.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, in closing, just.
Go ahead. Go for it.
In closing, the Chicago Inspector General's office is getting a new Inspector General. This person needs to make the call. There are only 3 choices. 1, open the program up to groups which is disenfranchised. This is a very slippery slope. 2, do away with the Affinity police car program, which I would prefer. 3, ignore me. That will strengthen any argument that I believe the Chicago Inspector General's office is promoting progressive segregation. I can only come out ahead on all 3 of these. If you need to get in touch with me, my email is streetervillemilitia@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. The next speaker who signed up to speak is Ms. Jennifer Edwards.
Hi, I'm getting better. I want to say thank you. I left some brochures there. I didn't bring enough of our event, our Black History Month event. I want to say thank you. We could not have done it without the police department, without the fire department, without the Black Fire Brigade, and with all the help that we had from Chief Navalis and others to put this together to tell about the history of African Americans and our inventions. We also got a couple of physicians from the University of Chicago in emergency medicine, and we were able to get the person that put together the Freedom House. We brought him in from Pittsburgh, and it was just an excellent, excellent event. So I wanted to thank everybody. But from that, I want to bring up about police apathy. Some of the reasons that we do the things that we do is because we try to connect the community and the police. So here's the definition of police apathy. Okay, it refers to a state of indifference or inaction of law enforcement officers toward their duties, the public or victims, often stemming from burnout, trauma, or systemic cynicism. It manifests as neglected investigations, rude behavior, and or why bother attitude, eroding public trust. So what's the answer? Now, I got this out of Google. You know, you can get everything out of Google. But I thought it was a good definition. Some of the things that we do with Communities Organized to Win is to bring this together and try to figure out what we can do. I'm giving it to Chief Navalis and to the rest of the board. We want to be involved and we want to solve some of these issues, but we do have some problems with our caps. And we'd like to talk to you and talk about how we can solve these things because they are getting serious. There's a lot of crime, and I know my time is up. There's a lot of crime going on, and things are not getting to the point that they should be after all that has happened. So whatever we can do, please give us some suggestions. We want to work with you. We want to have more events around this. We want to bring more kids into these public jobs because we need them to be out here because they're going to be coming after us. Because I'm ready to, retire and cross my legs and eat bonbons, okay? so anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards.
Whatever you can come up with, we got to do something because it's not working yet, okay? And as I told Ms. Tracy, we need to bring some of our older officers back. We need some old school stuff, okay? Everything that's new is not necessarily good, okay, and doesn't necessarily work, okay? I'm not saying knock heads, but we've got to do something, okay? So
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. The next individual who signed up to speak is Ms. Charlene Beasley.
I just wanted to talk a little bit of how I am invested in the community, the city of Chicago, and in the police department. I'm a CPA and retired CFO and compliance officer for a number of corporations. I was a former controller of the Chicago Park District under Forrest Claypool and Ron Denard. I'm a 6th-degree black belt who volunteered for 25 years for teaching children and adults in underprivileged areas so that they could get the benefits, the internal benefits of martial arts. I'm a licensed preacher and an ordained minister. And I'm also a survivor of domestic violence who helped the 6th District and the 3rd District at their events. I was a volunteer for their events. And you'll know why I'm saying all this when I give you this report. Since the last board meeting, there have been calls for service for 31 illegally parked cars, and observing with our eyes, there's only been 9 tickets. The historical and the current pattern for not ticketing is no response to calls for service or just driving by and not stopping, tickets written for some of the vehicles, but not all, officers arriving after service is over and violators are gone. That is the #1 problem. It's almost like it's timed. Officers wait to call church security so violators can move their vehicles and say they're going to be back. Cars don't move, and there's still no tickets. Now, we got some creative stuff going on the last 2 weeks. One officer worked a long time, and I'm about to leave. Commander Poston is in the church attending service and can't be reached to consent that we can give a ticket. Your block doesn't have official city permit parking signage. It's been in place since 2018. Ticketing won't be effective because Pastor Hannah pays them. Visitors and residents can park there if the resident agrees.
Thank you,
Not
Ms. Beasley.
true. And the block, and the last one was the block doesn't have enough official signs. This is the first time we're hearing this, and we do have enough official signs.
Thank you for coming, Ms. Beasley. The next individual who signed up to speak is Ms. Patricia Puente.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Summer is around the corner, and I have an issue with cars that are parking their car in front of my apartment with their blasting music. There is a noise ordinance code of 1961, section 27. In Illinois, if you make noise that interferes with the enjoyment of life before or after hours, you're violating a state ordinance. One time I called the law enforcement dispatcher. I told her, you know, they're with their loud music, da-da-da. It was like around 10 o'clock at night. This is what that's another incident. It was like around 8 o'clock in the morning. This is what she told me. There's no problem. They could have all the noise they are allowed to have all the noise they want. I'm like, wait, there's a noise ordinance. There's a noise code ordinance. No, there isn't. I wasn't going to discuss it with her, and that's why I'm here. Please, there's people that work at night and sleep in the morning. There's people that work in the morning and sleep at night. These people When I go and tell them, I have a picture of one of them, when I went and told them, can you please lower your music? This is what he told me. That is why nobody in the community likes you. I'm like, are you kidding me? The music is very loud. It's 9 o'clock at night, and people have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms.
Have a
Puente.
wonderful day.
You too. The next individual signed up to speak is Debbie McBounds.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm a grandma. I'm here about my granddaughter. My granddaughter broke up with her boyfriend, got a phone call. He told her to come over to his house and get her clothes and stuff. So her girlfriend got in the car and took her over there. And she got over there. He set her clothes outside. They picked up the clothes and put them in the car. She turned around and went to the gas station. And, you know, the girls went in there and got some snacks and everything. He got in his car, went to the gas station, and hit my granddaughter with his vehicle. I got it on the tape. I got it on video. And the gas station got it too. Then my granddaughter didn't tell me because she didn't want grandma to get upset. She didn't tell her mother or her father. She went to Morgan Park Police Station, and she went to try to get help. The officer in there, she was explaining to him what had happened to her, what her boyfriend did to her. And a sergeant came up and said, you sure it wasn't a joke or he wasn't playing with you? Then her and the sergeant, you know, started talking, and she didn't like how the sergeant was trying to assimilate that this boy wasn't trying to really hurt her. And so she asked the sergeant, she says, anybody else I can speak to, a delegation of authority? She told her, no, it's nobody you can speak to. You have to speak to me. Then turned around and told my grandbaby, I can put you out of this out of the police station. She put my grandbaby out. She went outside and called me. I was less than 20 minutes away from her. I said, don't open up your mouth, because I used to be a court advocate for the 5th District, and also I was part of SEIU on the E-board. I said, don't you open up your mouth and say nothing else. I'm on my way. I went to Morgan Park, and I said, she was behind me. I said, get in here. I said, who is the sergeant that put my grandbaby out when she's trying to get a report that this boy hit her with a car, trying to kill her? It's on video. And he also, and they told me, they said, oh, she's gone. The sergeant is gone. I told my grandbaby, I said, is any of these officers that's standing in the front desk, was they there when that sergeant did this to you? She said, no, Grandma. So the other sergeant, he said, no, the whole staff is gone. I say, they offered duty at 3:15. Your shift change at 3:15. I say, cameras are going to be pulled. I said,
Thank you, Ms. McBounds.
I wanted her badge number. Refused to give me her badge number. I
So,
had
Ms.
to ask
Bound-
for it twice.
Ms. McBounds, if you could stick around after the meeting, I'm sure one of the police officers would be happy to speak with you about your situation.
Okay.
Thank you. The next individual who signed up to speak is Mr. Amir Shakur.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Amir Shakur. For those who know me, I haven't been around for quite some time. I'm actually a journalist and an activist, Huffington Post, Chicago Urban Daily, and I've had some of the biggest civil rights cases in America. And coming back to Chicago, and I know you guys have tackled this, all right, maybe you haven't, I could be wrong, but the District 18 disbanded task force, right? For those who don't know, the task force who was stopping black citizens, fraudulent stops, disbanded, and the sergeants were removed and put on desk duty, the last thing I checked. Well, it is still an ongoing investigation, but I just wanted to highlight two things, and I'm gonna bring it full circle. Sergeant Eric Singh, an officer who was commanding, no, I'm sorry, it might be Lieutenant Aaron Singh, Star 2677, 34 allegations, 160,000 in payouts, 53 reports, still around, part of the task force, led this disbanded task force. Why is it that we're here is to investigate allegations of police misconduct? So the next phase of this operation is something that I'm asking for. I wanted to highlight that example, but I'm asking, we have to do the second phase of what COPA exists for. Mayor Johnson talked about it, a systematic warning solution or a systematic pattern to, if there's a pattern of police misconduct that exists, early on, an early warning system needs to be put in place, and it hasn't been implemented yet. Let's get with Mayor Johnson, let's get with the police leadership, and let's implement that system, because that'll make our job so much easier. It has to be done. He's talked about it recently. This has been since the beginning of his term, and even after Lori Lightfoot's term. We need that in place. I think it's necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Shakar. The next individual who signed up to speak is Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef.
Say her name. ISIS. 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 Greetings to the board and my fellow citizens. Before I begin, do you know that Adam Toledo's unalive is coming up April 29th? Excuse me, March 29th, excuse me. And Reginald Clay Jr. also is coming up April 15th. My name is Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef, human rights activist in Chicago. Will the family of ISIS please stand? We are here for a reason, and that reason is Chicago has failed this family. This is a grieving family that remains in pain, the loss of their loved one, Isis. Isis was a 22-year-old black woman, was unalive on December 20, 2025, just 5 days before the Christian holiday. This tragedy is a family's worst nightmare. Still, since this tragedy, this family has not got justice. No answers, no arrests. This is unacceptable. Chicago is the most surveillance city in the country, and we can't even get a phone call. This is grossly problematic. How so? When someone of your people in arms are unalived, you find it very quickly to get results. You find who is responsible. You bring that person before justice. You put their face on the television. But when it comes to this family, they have to sit here and wait, and wait, and wait. The Chicago police has a duty to investigate this case with the same sense of urgency. When one of you are unalive, the apartment complex is a government-approved building, and those cameras need to be reviewed.
Thank you, Rabbi.
We believe those cameras will bring closure to this family.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And we need those cameras reviewed immediately.
Thank you,
Say
Rabbi.
her name. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. No justice. No justice.
The next individual who signed up. Thank you, Rabbi.
No justice. No justice.
Thank you, Rabbi. The next individual who signed up to speak is Lakashia Collins.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Respects to all the dignitaries, officials, and attendees. I am Lakeisha Collins. My daughter is Isis Okanti. December 20th, 8:20 a.m. She was on her way to work. Some young guys shot into her car. She lost control of her car. She crashed into a tree trying to get to the hospital. I have not received an autopsy. I have not got any information. I haven't seen the footage of the shooting. My daughter was 22 years old. She was the training manager for several Little Caesars company. She wasn't in the street. She was a good girl, and we just need answers. You know, we just moved back from Vegas, and she came here, and she got a job, and she got promoted, and we end up staying here, but I need some answers. I need, if anybody can help us in any type of way, I'm just here tonight to beg for somebody heart to be touched to give us the answers.
Thank you very much, and I'm so sorry for your loss. If you please, you and your family stick around at the end of the meeting. I'm sure somebody from the Chicago Police Department will be more than happy to speak with you.
Thank you. And one other thing I want to say before I get off is, if someone could help me try to figure out how to get these guys to start wearing the masks that they're wearing in the streets while they're committing these crimes, because every description that we're getting is a mask, so if someone can direct me with that also.
Please stick around. Someone will talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
The next speaker we have signed up to speak is Pastor Doyle.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What was not said, because I listened to every word. Some days I'm going to be considered pro-police. And other days I'm going to be anti-police. But this is the nature of the beast. This is what I signed up for, she said. This article so made my Monday as a journalist and a Marine Corps veteran, because the A in accountability is also the A in audacity. And so I just want on the record in my 2 minutes, again, continue your excellence because what you signed up for. But again, you're God's Dunbar difference. I want to thank Chief Navalis for your audacity. You know exactly what you did. When I say, for me, who has lost so many to the violence in Chicago, where some days are harder than others, and I'm not shy about, again, my openness about some days therapists get some time. Again, you know exactly what you did, not just today, but just this whole month, and so greatly appreciate it. To Attorney Porter, thank you for last month, because Mr. Harris has returned tonight, and I was very clear about not walking inside a Walgreens and being harassed just because you're with a pastor who doesn't mind being arrested. I like for people to divorce me from those who are just innocent. So thank you for last month. And then finally, music soothes the savage beats. A deterrent to the violence in Chicago is clearly music, but not the music that you're thinking of. Again, for those of you that may remember This Is Us, it debuted a decade ago. And when I hear Memphis, I think about the episode, either you understand what I'm talking about or you don't. So if you watch This Is Us and the episode where Randall said goodbye to his father, the next presenter behind me is from Memphis. He teaches music. I asked him to come tonight to showcase because, again, he's a deterrent to the violence in Chicago because it works if you work it.
Thank you, Pastor Doyle. The final speaker we have on the list tonight is Mr. Adam Rogers. Thank you very much, Mr. Rogers. Music is definitely speech, and so I appreciated that as a way to close out this month's meeting of the Chicago Police Board. With that being said, all members of the public who have signed up to speak and to play have done so. And so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this month's meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Hearing all ayes and seeing all hands raised, the meeting is adjourned.